Everyone loves taking shortcuts in Mario Kart World, but what about the long cuts? These are the secret routes that hardly anyone uses because they are slower, but sometimes they can be worth it. In this video, I'll be showing you a bunch of these less commonly taken paths, like this right path on Acorn Heights, which is longer but allows you to safely go above this shortcut. But safety is just one of several reasons why you might want to take these longer paths. Another reason is to collect coins, like this hidden path on Boost Cinema where you can ride these 2 rails and get 6 coins, and you still get that item box at the end there. Everyone knows about the shortcut on Bowser's Castle that is the most important one in the game where you jump over the lava, but how often do you take the top route? There aren't many coins up here, but it does allow you to travel safely without getting hit by items, and you can still collect a guaranteed item at the item box up above. The first clip I just showed you there was taking the right path, but now here I'm showing you how you can do the exact same thing on the left path, riding the rail up, getting a guaranteed item, and then driving on this middle rail and tricking onto the left rail, and then wall riding on this crate up here. But if this long cut is just too slow for you, and you want to take a path that's just a split second longer than the shortcut, you can hold B and A together before you hit the first rail, and let it go just before you land on the last rail here, to take this tight inside line. I don't know about you, but I find the water physics in this game a pain to deal with, which leads me to the next reason why some of these alternate routes are worth it even though they're slower, which is avoiding the water, like that path just did here, and like getting on this wall and then riding up to this rail that I didn't even know was here until yesterday does as well. Now this last alternate route that I'm showing you here, I would not recommend. I just put it in for fun, but I can't think of a reason why it would be viable because it takes you so high up that it costs you a ton of time and there's no coins or items or anything. On Choco Mountain, you can charge jump onto this rail, and then you can right trick onto the wall and ride the wall up onto this rail, but it's a little bit pointless. I mean, you miss the item set and it's slower, it doesn't really give you anything. But this next rail up here, even though it's a really wide, slow turn, so I wouldn't take it on the last lap, on laps 1 and 2 it can be useful for getting more coins because there's 5 coins on it, and then you can trick across these signs to save a little bit of time at the end. Speaking of riding on signs, you can do it on Crown City as well. You can ride on the tops of these signs here. I like doing this one just to stay away from the crowd a little bit and keep myself safe. Dandelion Depths has some really cool secret routes that nobody seems to take. This one you can trick onto the wall and ride the wall for a long time to get up onto this upper path, and there's still a double item box up here that you're pretty much guaranteed to get. And it's a little bit slower, but it keeps you safe, gives you a coin and double items. This one is really cool but tricky at first. You have to trick at a sharp angle to ride this wall up high enough to get onto this platform, then do the same thing on this wall to get onto this platform. You get a free double item box and you stay away from the crowd, although it is definitely slower. Dino Jungle is a great track for bagging, so on lap 1 especially, or even on lap 2, I don't mind taking this route up here onto this hidden path up top, because you get a guaranteed double item box and it's so slow that you'll drop in places and get a better item that way. You can trick off the wall at the end there too. I don't really take any of these alternate routes that I'm going to show you on DK Pass, like this one here, there's this random rail and you can ride the wall a bit at the end, but it's definitely slower and you don't get anything out of it other than just staying away from the crowd, I suppose. Up ahead you can take the left rail or the right rail. I'll show you the right rail first. Again, it's a bit safer, that's about the only good thing about it. It is slower. You have to trick off here to make sure that you can make this turn safely. And then the left path is even slower. It's actually really slow. I wouldn't really recommend it, definitely not on the 3rd lap, but not even on the 1st or 2nd lap. There's no coins, there's no items, there's nothing really here at all, so not worth. Getting items at the start of the race can be crazy because there's so many people stealing your item box, so I like to take this top path for a better shot at getting an item here. Other than that, the main thing I'd say on DK Spaceport is just that on pretty much every one of the straightaways, you can ride the rails on the sides. They are going to be slower, but they are going to be safer. There's not going to be any extra coins or items or any real big benefits, so I usually don't take them, unless I really just don't want to get hit. If you take the last one, make sure you trick off early enough to not get hit by DK. And on Bones Burnout, if you take the right rail after the glider, you can ride on that wall to get on this upper path here. There's a glider at the end of it, which is cool because it takes you to the top path where like almost nobody ever goes. Even if you take the left path, you can still get on the glider, because on this ramp up ahead, you can just trick off of it and then get onto this wall here, and ride the wall, and then at the end of the wall, it'll put you into a glider to take you onto the top path. This is nice for a guaranteed item box. It's not that much slower than the bottom path, and you can go onto the right here, and then you'll be up above everybody and still staying safe. You can get up to some crazy shenanigans on Great Question Block ruins, like avoiding this chaotic section by getting onto this wall, riding it onto the rail, and getting a free item box there. And then as you approach this section, most people go right or straight, but if you go left, it is slower. But you can get up here nice and safe, you can get some coins up here, and then you can land on this rail ahead, which is cool because you can either trick to the right and take this rail off to the side. This is definitely slower, it takes you up to this secret platform, I bet you didn't even know it was there, and you get a double item box there. Or from this rail, you can left trick and do like a modified version of the crazy shortcut, and get onto the cloud here and bounce from the cloud back onto the track. On Mario Bros circuit, you can ignore this wall ride here that was just for fun, but this rail is what I really wanted to show you. I didn't realize this was here until recently. You can collect a bunch of coins while staying safe and away from the crowd, and then trick onto this sign at the end for an extra little speed boost. On Peach Beach, it can be useful to take this alternate path for begging purposes, as you'll fall behind early in the race from it, so then you'll get good items that will help you take the crucial shortcut later on. And if you don't have a good item to take that shortcut, then there are some long cuts that go around it. This first one I wouldn't typically recommend because it is so slow. Like, once you get on this rail, you are just on this rail forever.
5 hours later.
At this next part, it's fastest to just drop down and take the glider, but you can mix it up and stay to the right, tricking along these rooftops and collecting coins. You can even test your steering at the end here by trying to drive to the end of these wooden planks. This leads me to another reason why you might want to take some of these long cuts, which is that sometimes it's just more fun to do so. Wait, what? Fun? We don't want fun. We want to win. Well, maybe if you're in some casual races and you're just tired of racing the same lines every time, you could try seeing if you can pull off a fun new route. Like this last one I'll show you here on Peach Beach, where once you get around this turn, you can just wall ride to get up onto the rooftops. You wall ride here, and then right trick across to these rooftops, and then you just send it off this ramp and hope you land on this rail here, and then left trick across the rooftops to get over to this side, and I do think this side is faster than the right side because you have this boost panel here. I would actually say that this long cut on Peach Stadium is underrated. Like, yes, it takes extra time to get up here, it's a bit slower, that's why you don't see people doing it that often, and you'll see yourself losing spots as you go up this longer route. But then from here, you can land right on this rail, you can take this turn super sharp, and I'm always gaining spots as I whip around that rail. You can also get up on those hidden paths by charge jumping onto the wall right about here, and this time I'll go left to show you this left path, because if you don't get up on that big rail on that big wall over there, then you can just kind of stay left and there's another rail over here. So you can charge jump onto this rail, and then you can get a free double item box and take a glider, which is always nice. And if I was less bad, I would have just landed right onto that rail as well. Another often overlooked long cut is this one on Rainbow Road. Typically on this track you want to take all of the right paths as they are faster, but if you take the left one here, you get a couple coins and then you get to skip one of the sharp turns. This one involves pretty much every reason why you might want to take a longer path that we've talked about so far. It gives you coins, avoids the water, is safer, is fun, and gives you a guaranteed double item box, not to mention the glider ramp at the end. If you skip the beginning shortcut on Guy Bazaar, there are lots of different combinations of rail riding you can do, but I like this path in particular because it allows me to get up onto this rail here, which sets me up for a sharp turn, or I can go right and stay on this wall here, which is tricky to get onto, you have to get the angle just right, but then you can get onto this rail, ride this turn really tight, and I like to left trick onto this rail, and then there's even a path up here that is a little bit safer and away from the crowd. If you do take this sharp turn, you can just charge jump onto this wall on the left, and then you can left trick off this rail, and you'll see a couple boost panels up ahead. And just like the first one I showed you on this track, the main reason for doing this is just for safety. Here's a path you might have never taken on Sky High Sundae. You can take the glider onto that rail and trick onto that wall, and then wall jump across to land on this platform over here. And then from here you can keep going, you can trick onto this rail. And the nice thing about riding these rails is that there's a bunch of coins on them. I think you get 5. Yeah, 5 coins, and then you're back on the track. After that, you can ride the rails on the right or the left. I'll show you the right side first. You can trick onto this rail, ride this wall, get back on this rail, and then trick onto the next rail. There's 3 coins at the end here, which is really nice. And you can do the same thing on the left. It's very similar. There's no wall-to-wall ride, but you can just jump across the rails in a similar fashion. I kind of prefer the one on the right because I find these last 3 coins here kind of hard to get. I always just get the last one like that. Here are 2 more on Toad's Factory, and I actually take both of these a lot. On this one, you can get a few coins riding up on the wall, you can get a guaranteed item box, or you can come over here and ride the wall for an extra speed boost. And this one's one of my favorites because the area below you is so chaotic, but if you get onto this rail, you get 5 free coins, and you're up here nice and safe, avoiding the chaos below. You can take it tight on the inside, or you can go wide to the right here and get 3 more coins. This first one here on Wario Shipyard is actually quite inconsistent. If you had a speed item, it would be a lot easier, but for some reason landing on this rail is a bit tricky and not really worth it. You don't get much out of it. But over here, if you ride this rail on the left, you can easily get up to the top part of this cannon. And from here, you can go over to this right rail and land on this right section, which is just a little bit safer. You could also go to the left, so I'll show you a different way to get up here. You can just wall right up this side, and you're back on the cannon again, and you can go left. This way is really slow though, and I really don't see much of a point. If you take the crazy beginning shortcut on Wario Stadium, you land on this rail where you'd usually trick off about there, but if you keep going, you can keep riding this rail. It's just not really worth it because it's really slow, really wide, and there's nothing you get out of it. There's no coins or items or anything like that. But this part up ahead is worth it. It's really not that slow. People are rarely up here, so it's safe, and you get 5 free coins. But this last alternate path on Wario Stadium I would not recommend, like, pretty much ever. It's just really slow, and there's nothing you really get out of it other than a few coins. I guess if you really wanted these 3 coins, you could do it on the first lap, but I wouldn't do it after that. And this last one is the less commonly taken left path, where you can still get the item box when you charge jump. So yeah, not every secret route is fast, but next time you're tired of the same lines, try one of these. Sometimes the fun is taking the road nobody else does, and sometimes it can even be the better play.